How do you make a green road? Well, this is volcanic stone that's local. It comes from about 30 kilometers away. And we looked for a Roman that still remembered this technique. And we couldn't find one that could do anything but make pasta. So we had to figure it out, but we did it. And this road has gone through a rainy season, has required a tiny bit of fixing, but we're extremely happy with it. And it has little concrete and no petrochemicals. This is a path. And in the absence of perfect architectural planning and landscape architecture design, we tend to move paths periodically. And this path, which is made from local sandstone and ground lava, can be moved, and we can have replanted it in a day or two. This is another path, and this is just the natural wisdom and beauty of the Balinese workers. You point, you wave your arms, you show them the beginning, you show them the end, and they do such incredible things with the land. But if you've ever been to Bali, or in fact anywhere in Asia, and looked at rice paddies, you know that the maps of the earth are here. This is the broad set of steps that lead to Heart of School. This is the lowest quality sandstone that there is, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when it's well sculpted. How do you make a fence? Certainly we had an incredible problem with parents and school teachers around the kindergarten. They were insisting either on a chain link fence or a concrete block wall. We made a fence from these trees, which are called dadap in Indonesian. They're nitrogen fixers, and as you trim the top, it's really good food for the buffalo. We make mud walls. And this is the parking lot dilemma. It seems that whenever you make something, and we don't put cars in the green school property, but we do allow them to park nearby. So this is a parking lot that's also a garden. This parking lot is a bean garden. And I took down one of these beans and I wondered what it was. I showed it to a 30-year-old gardener on the property, and she told me, you couldn't eat it. I showed it to a grandmother who lived nearby, and she gave me 3 recipes to cook it. How much are we losing by buying our food in the supermarket? This is the hot water plant. This was made. I mean, the Flintstones could have done better than this. But we burn sawdust from the bamboo factory, and we create all the hot water we need for the teacher housing. The 2 structures on the right and left are stainless steel tanks that are insulated with sawdust. This is the river. The school is lucky to have 5 springs. And those 5 springs we put in a concrete, because people talk about my love of concrete, but there wasn't anything else to do here. We put in a concrete wall, and we created a natural overflowing spring-fed pool. And since we put it in, people have discovered it, including the students. And the principal decreed that only 1 student at a time could swim in it. But I think the principal has kind of lost control on that particular issue. Because the kids, when it's hot in Bali, the kids love it. This is the drop-off ballet. And this is an example of what the Balinese, and some say the Indonesians, are most famous for. It's called crisis management. 15 days before the school opened on September 1st, someone said, well, what about the drop-off ballet? And what if it's raining that day? And won't the students all go home if it's raining and they get out of their cars? And it's sort of like going to the mall here. You have to have a roof. So this structure was built with the roof on in 15 days. The Balinese contractor and the Balinese workers flew through it because it was truly a crisis. And it's a great it's a great drop-off pavilion. Here come the kids. We have 108 kids, and an international school is sometimes we feel it should be located in a spaceship. The Swiss school makes sure that the Swiss children don't pick up any nasty habits or knowledge from the country that the Swiss school is located in. And that was really not our intention. We know what we know in the West. But trust me, the Balinese know an awful lot more. So we made the commitment to have, in the beginning, 20% Balinese scholarship students. Because we can't turn up in Bali and pretend that we're there to teach. We're there to teach what we know, and we're there to learn. The Balinese environmental record and environmental footprint, I'm from Canada, is probably 1/100th per person that the Canadian one is. This is the police force, but not at Green School. I don't know what it is about control that is so important, but this is the Green School police force. Easily recognized, appropriately dressed, and very much in control, because recently when 3 girls were having so much fun floating down the river and screaming, I won't mention any names, 2 of these gentlemen with their cell phones in their pocket launched themselves into the river because these security men are local and rescued them. They actually didn't need rescuing, but it was a great moment. Green teachers, green classrooms. We had an idea, and it didn't work 100%. I have a friend named Stephen Segmaster, and he travels around the world giving talks about design and such matters. I'm sure he's visited Bangkok. And he was coaching me, and he said, John, if you don't tell about the failures, people won't get it. Well, we had some pretty big failures in the teachers' compound. And it wasn't necessarily the teachers. It was the women they married. And you can imagine, I mean, you know about the bules, as we call them in Indonesia, or the expatriates here in Bangkok. I mean, they came from very well-tidied, well-ordered little suburban lives in America. And it's tough to be in the tropics. It's tough to be sleeping on a kapok mattress. It's tough to see a mosquito. It's really awful to have a dog wander into your house. So we had some real problems, and we lost some teachers, and it was really sad because I was very idealistic, and I wanted to not have our teachers getting into giant suburban 4x4s and driving home to suburbs. I wanted them to be there. I wanted them to swim in the river. I wanted them to walk to school. I wanted them to come home at lunchtime and see their babies. And many do. And some left. And it was a personal failure on my part because I was really pushing this green living area for the teachers. But it also, in a way, acts as a filter. If you're not willing to live in a bamboo house, maybe you shouldn't be teaching at Green School. But the houses and the classrooms are amazing. This is one that stayed. But it wasn't like a terrible poor man's hut in the hills of Thailand. It was pretty luxe, I thought, our